Welcome, everyone, to the Average People podcast. It's about that time where we place our fingers on the tabs and we open up our energy drinks together. So in 3, 2, 1.
You know, I thought you were going to say open. You were saying we're going to open, and I was like, please say we're going to open a world.
We're going to open
an experience, something like that. But you just said we're going to open our cans.
Well, I could have probably said that, but
No going back now. We already opened the
there's no
internet.
going back.
That's okay.
we started off already. So I have a few topics that I've been thinking about that I've been wanting to just share with you guys and have a good conversation about it. So I've been watching this show on Netflix, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been, maybe have seen it. I think I've had a conversation with Sam about it a few times, but I've been watching the Zac Efron show on Netflix. It's called Down to Earth, right? A lot of what it's talking about is it's talking about health, right? And it's based in Italy, particularly in Sardinia. Have you ever heard of Sardinia before?
Not until that episode.
Yeah, I watched the
You
episode.
talking about those things that come in cans?
Sardinia?
Sardines?
Sardinia. I mean, it could be that too.
Wait, are you going to explain the episode or explain the point of the show?
Like the point of the Zac Efron show?
Yeah.
Well, do a little bit of both. So he goes to Sardinia, and he's basically interviewing a few people about their lifestyle, right? And in Sardinia, and Sam, you can probably help me out a little bit with this. He's going over there and he's talking to.
You know a lot
lot
about
of people.
Sardinia, right?
Oh, but
You
he's
know
seen
what
the
about Zac
episode.
Efron, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's seen hashtag High School Musical. But
I know more than that, but
well, I mean, what's the is it the 21 again?
I think it's 21 again.
Nine-
yeah.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Charlie
19
St.
again.
Cloud.
Charlie St. Cloud. That's
There's
another
Charlie
great
St.
movie.
Cloud's a good one.
I think it's
Baywatch.
17 again.
Baywatch. 17
Baywatch
again.
was a-
17 again,
Baywatch
not
was a
21.
great movie. He was
Yeah.
in. Great
Baywatch, I
acting.
think he was like in the best shape of his life.
Well, that's what this.
Yeah, and then now, after Baywatch, well, he goes and he started this show on Netflix, and he's basically going to all these different places around the world, and he's interviewing people based off of their lifestyles and how they live. And in this particular episode, he's talking to people that have like a long-lasting life, so people that have lived up into their hundreds and past that. And he says that in this particular area in Italy, in Sardinia, that there's a lot of centenarians, a lot of people that live past their hundreds, right?
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, like, why do they live past 100?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's chocolate. It's a scientific fact, right?
No, it's not chocolate. Oh, it's not chocolate.
What are they selling?
Chocolate. Well,
There's
but,
SpongeBob
yeah, I mean,
quote.
but he talks a lot about, and he interviews a lot of people about their particular lifestyle. And I wanted to talk about, just in particular, like their health and why it's so important to be healthy and eat healthy. Because I think at one point in all of our lives, we've always wanted to like eat more healthier, and we know that. I think the U.S. the food, I guess the way it's packaged, and a lot of people's lifestyle in the U.S. it's not the best.
Yeah.
I think back to
Everybody
my
gut
childhood.
check. Everybody gut check.
Gut check.
Are you doing the chub and tuck? You got the
You put your
the belly over the belt.
yeah, belly over the belt, or you pick your boxes over your panza.
To make you look skinnier?
Yeah, to make you look skinnier.
You ever do that? Yeah, I used to do that a lot, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I used to put like whatever I had under my pants, whether it was like choninos or
Oh
or
my
boxers, dude,
gosh.
you put them over your stomach so that
Oh
like
my
presses the muffin top back inside you.
What the heck?
I've never
Yeah.
had to do
Dude,
that.
I had some
promise.
really bad
that's-
issues when I
it's-
was freaking younger, man.
It's a life hack. I remember actually,
greatest
Myles.
life hack.
Yeah, we need to actually put the picture on, probably on the Instagram, but the picture where Sam had the back fat.
Oh
Remember
my
that?
gosh.
Dude, that picture, he was walking around in
I mean, I'm
Australia.
not really one to fat shame, but it was a pretty funny photo.
It's pretty
Yeah.
bad. I guess we could post it. I mean, it's gonna hurt me, but
Yeah, but it's all
It's
good, man.
It's all for the podcast.
It's for the
so.
viewers. It's for the viewers.
no. But I think if I could, well, I don't know what you're gonna say. What were you gonna say? We're gonna talk about
Well, I
that.
just wanted to have a conversation about that and the importance of like your lifestyle and why it's so important to live healthy. And I know, Sam, you've been actually on this journey. I want to say it's been on a journey of trying to eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle. So you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Well, so the episode, I guess just to expand more, is that Zac Efron and the guy went to this place called Sardinia. In Italy, right? And basically what they found is that these people have, how do I explain it? they have the highest
They
the
live
highest number of
longer.
cemeterians. Yeah,
They live
their
longer.
life
Is
expectancy
this
is
episode recap number 2?
Wait, what?
It's just we just explain.
I know. I explained it, and then Sam's explaining it again.
Yeah, I can
He's
cut it
giving
out.
it a
I can
shot.
cut it out. But no. Well, it's because it has to do. I'm just gonna reiterate because they have the highest life expectancy rate. I think that's what it was. But I do
Mhm.
also know that they have the highest number of centurions.
Yeah.
But it was cool because in that episode they explored just the area and they were just kind of surprised at how not little they thought about it, but it wasn't something that was a focus.
Mhm.
Like the health wasn't necessarily a focus
Yeah.
because there's a point in the episode where Zac Efron is like, when he was doing Baywatch,
he was training for
he was training
Baywatch.
for Baywatch. His
10 years. 10 years, bro,
his-
that he said. That was
his
crazy.
his trainer was telling him protein, obviously because that's what gets you muscle
You gains,
and stuff.
bro.
Yeah,
Gains.
so you get gains. But in the episode, Zac Efron was confused. It's like, why my whole life have I been doing that?
Mhm.
And here they're eating pasta. They're
Like
eating
a
all
bunch
this
of carbs
stuff,
and stuff.
all this stuff, and they have this higher expectancy of life.
Mhm.
And here we are trying to, all these supplements, all this other stuff, this added stuff, but it's like not really. It helps
it's
you
not
short
adding
term.
to your
It doesn't
your
add
life,
to your
yeah.
life. It's just short term.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
So then they went. So after that, they went deeper into the study, and they started to run studies on like, the people you're around, like your positivity,
yeah.
like stuff like that.
that whole episode wasn't even just about health. It was about community and how the people were sewed together in that area that probably contributed to
Mm-hmm.
a healthier lifestyle because I don't know why, but just when you're around people and when you're just, I don't know, at peace, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier on your body,
Yeah.
easier on everything. And, but I do think health is important. And yeah, I did, start to do that a lot more. I started to think about my health and, cause I used to be overweight, dude, like hardcore overweight, like in high
agree.
school and, in middle school.
Jeez.
In middle school, I was pretty fat, but nothing wrong with that. That's the thing about this episode is that a lot of those people weren't even like, they didn't look cut, they didn't look trim, they didn't look anything like that, but for some reason they were living longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, this is just my opinion, but I feel like the focus for a lot of people is like, I want to look good. I
Mhm.
want to look good for
Yeah.
other people, not I want to feel good or I want to be healthy. It's just
Mhm.
they just want to look good. And
Yeah.
sometimes that it comes at their own expense, but they're like, no, it's okay. I look good. People like the way I look, so that's okay. This is what I want. But I think if we sort of shift our mindset to, I just want to be healthy
Mhm.
physically and emotionally and mentally and in every way,
Yeah.
then I think that is what expands your life you might not even be looking for that. You just might just want to be happier.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all of that contributes to.
But I think what was interesting about the episode is that people they want to live a healthy lifestyle, but I think with what happens with a lot of people is that when they try to live a healthy lifestyle, when they start seeing progress, they start looking at other people and what their progress is, and they start asking themselves like, why I've been doing everything step by step, but why aren't I like that other person? And this episode in particular, it wasn't like that. Like they were talking to like people that were like 97, 100 years old, and they realized that like these people were like super happy with their life. Like, I've always heard people say like whenever you get old, it kind of sucks because, you can't really do the same things you used to do. But I thought it was really interesting because these people were really happy that they were old and that they've lived a long life where they've been able to be so many different titles. Like they've been able to be a son, a dad, a grandpa, a great grandpa, stuff like that. So it's just really cool to see, like, it's not only just living a healthy lifestyle, but it's also, surrounding yourself with people that are good. And, it's just different things.
I think another thing is that you try to emulate what somebody else is doing, thinking that it's going to help you become healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think that what somebody else does to their body or what they eat is going to help you do that. And one thing I found out for myself is that, and I get a lot of flack for it, like from other people, is the way my lifestyle isn't necessarily the way
It
you
should
would
be.
think the way that you would think makes you healthier, but
Mm.
that's what works for me. What I'm doing is working for me, and I think a lot of people's focus is I want to do that, whatever this guy's doing, because it's working for him, so it's got to work for me. But
Mhm.
then you come to find out it doesn't work for you, and then you're like stuck, like, well, what am I supposed to? And that's where you stop because you're so unmotivated. But I think if you figure out what helps you, what makes you healthier, what makes you happy, that is for me, that's the goal. I don't want to try to do something that somebody else is doing because I think it's going to work for me, but I want to figure out what works for me and makes me healthier in every way. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, there's an old saying that comparison is the killer of progress, and I feel like that totally applies to like kind of what we're talking about. And that if you're looking at someone else's habits or the things that their lifestyles, obviously you can take and pick and choose what you want to take, but comparing it fully and trying to emulate and copy something that someone else's methods, lifestyles, habits, and trying to apply it to your life is just never gonna work out the way that it does for them, because they're them.
Yeah,
They're them.
different.
That's horrible grammar, but they are who they are,
Yeah.
and then you are who you are. So things have to change and adapt to your personality, your body type, et cetera. So
Dang, some wise words right there.
Yeah,
I think it just thinking a long time.
I think it just
Sorry,
comes
Sam.
down to like what your definition of like health really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think, like especially in America, it's like we've been like kind of brainwashed with this like mentality that health is like, like 6-pack cut abs, like what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like this like just like absolutely shredded body type is like what is the result of like being healthy. But I think that like watching that episode, it made me realize more though that it's not it's like it's more of like your mental state matched with like your body as well. Like you're treating your body right, and like it doesn't mean that you only eat like vegetables every day. Like, cause you like in the episode they eat like pasta and desserts and like stuff like that. And but it was about their mind being healthy as well.
And I think there's also something to that the mental, like your thought process affects your physical body, your physical health. It's not only just working out, eating well, but there's a big the mind is controls the rest of your body. And it's actually crazy. There's like science, there's like studies on this on how much your mental state actually affects your physical body, your physical health.
Well, like stress eating.
Yeah,
Because they're
well,
stressed
exactly.
out. Yeah.
But not even that, like it'll literally change the chemicals in your body to react differently to different things. And it's really crazy. I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's really interesting to see how much that actually affects.
Well, think of it like this. So say for example, any individual out there, put yourself in this position. So you're focusing on your physical health, right? And you're working out, you're doing all this stuff. People think you look good. This is going to get pretty deep. But then you go home and you go in your room and you have nothing else. Like, you know what I mean? That's no.
I hear what you're saying.
But like that's not healthy.
Yeah.
That's not health. That's just you trying to look good. I think like to what everybody is saying is that health is something that's all around. Yeah. Like an all around thing. It's not just physical. As you might think that looking good might make you feel good, and it might, for sure, 100%. Like you're more confident when you look, you think you look good. But I think, like at the end of the day, you have a mind as well. You have all that stuff that you're gonna have to, not deal with, but sort of
deal with.
Live with. Like you have other things other than your body that you need to focus on. And I think what I was saying earlier is you need to find what makes you happy. You need to find what feeds your soul, because it's not just about the way you look, but it's the way you are on the inside as well, which is super important.
And I think as well, there's nothing wrong with a 6-pack or
I'm still trying to get that.
Someone shredded, but it's that when that becomes the goal. And I think sometimes we overemphasize, the idea that society has it wrong. This is the image of health. No, I mean, it's a great thing to strive for. There's nothing wrong with striving for, to lose weight and to have a 6-pack, have nice muscles, whatever you want to talk about. But when it becomes the obsession, everything in moderation. That can't be the goal, like what you're saying. It can't be that's going to make me happy. It may make you temporarily happy, or but it doesn't solve life's greatest issues, and you have to figure that out with family, friends, people around you,
Yeah.
community. Like I mean, I feel left out because I never watched the episode.
But
you
I
should,
mean,
bro. You should watch.
but
It's amazing.
It's really
Honestly, it was weird because I didn't expect that episode to really hit me, and it did.
Yeah.
But only because that's something that I've been interested in. Is like health, obviously,
Mhm.
and I just it opened my eyes. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy that a show with Zac Efron,
Yeah.
one of the hottest guys in the world, opened my eyes. You know.
Yeah.
But
we're just
yeah,
Bro, you're looking at him like an object right now.
No, but like you guys were saying, I do think it is important, to be healthy physically too,
Yeah.
because it does affect your self-esteem. It helps you out, you feel better, but it's also not bad to eat, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad. We're not like eat well,
Yeah.
eat good, eat what you want to eat, but at the end of the day, you have so many more things than just your
Yeah.
physical
My
health
grandpa's
that you
motto
need
in
to-
life was, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die happy.
Yeah.
And so he would eat whatever we wanted, do whatever he wanted. And he was a interesting man. I love him to
Yeah.
death. But yeah, his whole motto
Yeah.
was that, and he was like, I'm gonna die a fat man or something.
Yeah. I mean,
There's nothing wrong with being big, man. Like
yeah. I mean, some people just really enjoy food. Let's see,
yeah,
that's
that's
an
the-
art.
I mean, who doesn't? That's
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
that's
thing.
what's so slippery is like you kind of talk about this stuff and then you
I mean, there's
might
people-
you might start to feel like you're talking down upon people that aren't
Yeah.
physically fit, but I don't care, dude. Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
everything in moderation.
I do
You
think
just,
I do
you
think
know.
it's your mentality though. I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we focus way too much on like physical health, and I feel like all of physical health like trickles down from like your like
mental,
psyche.
yeah.
Yeah. Like the way that you like look at the world. Like for instance, you said your grandpa, and like that's the thing is like he was like healthy in that
He was
aspect of
content.
like
Yeah.
he's like content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think that's what it
Happy,
comes down
yeah.
to ultimately is like the contentment factor.
Yeah.
Like even with these guys in Italy and stuff, it's
It
like
was hilarious. Like that old guy, the one because Zac Efron asked him like, "What's your secret, bro? Like, how do you stay alive and so happy?" And he lifted up his wine glass or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
He's like,
What
this
is
is
it?
he's like
secret.
he's like 100-year-old and he's like I think he takes a half-mile walk back
Upstairs,
and
like,
forth upstairs
and some
to a
steep
bar
stairs.
every day.
Yeah.
And he just goes, he has a drink, and he comes back, and he's like, "That's what makes me happy."
Yeah.
That's my.
And it was making me wonder too. Like he had talked about how his wife had died,
Mm.
and like usually when you see an old couple and they lose their spouse or their husband, like it's kind of sad, because you would think like at that point they're ready to go at that point. But this guy's like, no, I'm ready to live. I'm ready to live for a few more years. Like
Yeah,
I'm ready to live for
exactly.
another 100. And then he says maybe not another 100, but
Yeah. But I mean, but that's the thing is like I feel like we like also like our culture has put a like when you're useful stamp, you know what I mean? And like you get to a certain age and then it's like, okay, you're not really like useful anymore, so it's
Mhm.
like you're on the tail end of your life.
yeah.
But then there's that mentality like he said he's like, yeah, I'm good for a couple more years, you know? It's like it's this whole mentality of like you don't feel useful anymore, but then you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, wow, that went really deep.
Yeah, life's a beautiful thing.
Life
guys.
is a beautiful
Everybody's on their own pursuit of happiness.
yeah, exactly.
It's true.
But
I'm on the pursuit of happiness. I was actually just listening to Kid Cudi the other day, like, cause
I
it's been a
forgot.
long time, and
Yeah.
I was that song Day and Night,
I
dude,
think
like all his classics.
It was me and Myles. Give me a shout out. Come on, please.
No, dude, it was just me. I was in my car alone.
Me too.
Well, maybe we were both listening to it.
I can't believe you don't remember that time.
No.
All
It's
right,
a
well,
good topic, though. I like that. I like health.
Well, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. This one's a little bit more broad, but I wanted to talk a little bit about technology, particularly technology in the sense because I was having a conversation with Izzy Gannon. Shout out Izzy Gannon if she's listening. I think
Yeah,
she's a subscriber.
I really
actually.
hope all of our friends support us, man. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to think they don't.
quick shout out to those who support us and our friends.
To our what is it now? 19 subscribers?
Yeah.
22.
22
yeah.
subscribers.
22 and growing.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Izzy's a subscriber,
I don't know.
but
Hopefully, I hope
hopefully,
so.
hopefully she does listen to this and she hears the shout out.
Well, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. Before you get into it, that's what we're gonna do.
Well, can we do that at the very end? No, because
Yeah, we
I
can
said
do
I was
that.
going to
Okay,
do it in
true,
the
true,
beginning, but I forgot. I'm
True,
sorry,
true,
guys.
true, true,
It's
true,
it's
true,
my
true.
bad.
True.
We'll do shout outs at the end, all right? But I wanted to talk about technology, and Izzy brought up this really interesting point. Like she was talking about how, like, if you were to take somebody from, let's say, the early
Oh, I know what you're talking
1900s,
about,
she was
yeah.
talking about somebody from the early 1900s, right? And if you were to like
Yeah.
just magically transport them into the right now, the current day, like I wonder how they'd be how they'd react to all the technology that we have today.
We don't even have to think about that because in Captain America, that is exactly what happened, right?
If you want to know
about it,
how
Buck
people
Rogers?
real.
if you want to know how people react, watch Captain America.
Yeah.
He literally woke up to technology, you know?
But I think the way Izzy brought it up, it's kind of one of those questions where
Yeah.
like, is this a dumb question or is this a really good question?
But
Because
the
you're like,
more you start thinking about it, it's like. Dang,
but
it's
yeah,
actually deep.
it's a good question. I mean, she was saying that if you were to bring somebody from 20 years ago to
Mhm.
today, would they be freaked out and
Yeah.
say, "Wow, this is like."
20 years ago? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking early 1900s.
Well,
Or-
I mean,
Well, even
I
then,
guess
even
either
then,
one, right?
even
Either
then,
one.
even then, like
But
she's,
even 20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
she's
when-
saying,
Well, because if you think about just a few years ago, I mean, they're still alive. Like my grandfather, he lived through multiple generations.
Yeah.
He saw phones
No.
progress and all that stuff.
well,
No,
I think
not
her-
even seeing the progression, but if you were teleported from,
Well,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
you know,
From when-
using a big...
Which I said that was the original question.
like big computer.
So
No,
Miles is repeating my question
Wait,
again.
No.
Like, but teleported from 20 years ago or
I
100
said
years ago?
early
1900s.
Well, then there you go.
Well,
Either one is
no,
crazy.
but the thing about her question was, would they think that they would be living in the future? Like if
Yeah.
you know, that was
Yeah.
what she was saying. Is
Yeah.
would they think that they're living in the future? Because like if you watch Back to the Future,
Yeah, when they came forward to like 5 years
you're
ago.
like, you don't like that drink or what?
Dude, I just got a sip of... Like, there's pulp in this drink.
What?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there is.
I didn't know
There
that.
is. There
Yeah,
is
there's
actually.
pulp.
I got like a mouthful of pulp.
He's doing the
This
mucho mango.
Loco
I didn't tell you I put orange juice
Monster. That was like so shockingly disgusting.
in there. I'm sorry, bro. I bought them.
Well, they're our sponsors, so what do you?
It's okay.
We
but
lost our only
Cut it
sponsor.
out,
sorry,
cut it out,
interrupt
Miles.
The train of thought.
Miles, don't talk bad,
No.
Miles.
No, but I think even like if you were to take somebody from early 1900s before they had cars, really, like when they were just pioneering cars,
Uh-huh.
and you were to like
Well,
let's say
Ford.
show somebody a Tesla, you know what I mean, like a
Oh,
car
yeah.
that can like drive itself, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
it would
Quick
just
quick
be like
sidebar. Tesla. I
Elon.
was just driving down Sherry Road outside here,
Is there a Tesla?
and there was a guy in a Tesla.
Cybertruck.
No, a
Oh.
guy in a Tesla, and he's sitting back, reclined,
No
with his hands
way.
behind his head.
Oh,
That's
He's
crazy.
With his hands behind his head, and then, but get this, like we're pulling up to a red light. It's like slowing down, staying perfectly straight, and the guy's just like chilling back with his hands behind his head. And I was like, this
Holy
guy
crap.
right
So-
here,
so much
self-driving
trust.
right next to me.
Well, but,
I
but
was-
the
I
real
was
question is, how
really
did that
heated.
make you feel?
Well, I thought number one, I'm super jealous because I drive a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Hey, at least it's better than a
Hey, I
Camry.
drive an
Yeah,
02, all right.
I have a
Actually, no,
2002.
mine's an 04. What
I
am
I
I
have,
saying?
I have a 2000. I have a 2001 Jeep Cherokee.
I have an
Yeah, mine's a
02
Grand
Chevy
Cherokee.
Suburban.
Anyway,
Okay.
that was a quick
Okay,
sidebar
okay.
about Tesla because I just
No, but yeah, but
reminded me.
I mean, just like imagine, like coming from where
Mm.
they were literally pioneering like the steam engine. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like to like now it's like you look at like a Tesla car and it has its own motor for each wheel, and it's like just
Bro.
stuff like that. That's like and yeah, I mean, and I was talking to my mom even about like touchscreen phones and how it's like she like literally was like, this is stuff that we watched on like Star Trek on TV.
Yeah.
Where it was like they'd pull out like a piece of glass and like type on it, and it was like we were always like, oh, that's so crazy, like
Yeah.
it's never gonna happen. And now it's so normalized, you know what I mean?
Bro,
And
it's
think about this: kids starting kindergarten this year are starting on Zoom, online kindergarten.
And
Dude,
yeah,
and virtual
What the
virtual
heck?
reality is like a thing now.
It's gonna
that
be,
people
yeah.
can have like just at their fingertips.
It's like, are you kidding me? Imagine being in kindergarten starting on Zoom,
yeah. I mean, but
where kids are learning how to mute themselves.
the thing,
What?
the thing is,
I was on VHS when I was in kindergarten.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. I mean, college students, some college students don't even know how to work Zoom, and freaking kindergarten,
They only-
kindergarten.
They know
Yeah.
how to mute themselves. I
It's
can't
that Generation
believe
Z,
that.
bro.
Yeah, like
It's the Zoomers.
it is.
The only Zoom I know is that when I was in kindergarten, if I ever acted bad, my parents said, "Yeah, you can Zoom the heck out of here if you want. Like if you're misbehaving like that, Zoom out of my house."
I mean, yeah, that's
No, I was zooming because I didn't want to get spanked.
You know, my mom actually called the cops on me one time. It was just a side thing. Yeah, she
He's
called.
like,
I was
"Yeah, lit the
really
house on
bad.
fire.
I don't think my mom listens to this, but yeah, she called the cops on me one time because I was really bad. And it was a friend.
Did they
It was
like
a cop
arrest
friend.
you?
No, so he came into the house
It-
and
They're like, you're nothing. You are
No.
worthless.
No, it was more like this. Mijo, I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
no, but it was one of her friends or one of my parents' friends, and he came into my room and he's talking to me, dude. I was so ashamed. And my
How
mom-
was Gary?
Imagine having your parents calling the cops on you, dude. Like,
That's
crazy.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
Committed arson.
I don't even know how I would react in that situation. That's scary.
dude,
Man.
I didn't either. I just remember I was tossing the football in my hand, listening to the guy. I was like, man, dude, this is so.
What were you listening
embarrassing."
to? Do you remember?
I was listening to him.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
I thought you were in your room, and then
Like,
they
No, he
to
came
arrest
into
you.
my room and he,
Nobody got
Sam
arrested.
was a real
Adrian.
disrespectful kid
I know.
listening to music while this
That's all
cop is trying to talk to him.
Sam's all playing with the football. He's jamming out.
I had my over the ear and my cassette player.
He's wearing his Vans studded belt.
On the screen, it's all Samuel Cisneros. It's like age 7. It's like
He's wearing a
disrespects
Supras.
his mother, talks back.
Back to technology.
Yeah. I know. How did we
I
even
don't know.
get
I
to
just because I just felt like
We
sidebarring.
were talking about Zoomers, and then he said he zoomed away, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
the
Yeah.
cop
zooming
came.
away.
And then
I still don't know where that came from, but
yeah, because we were talking. I said Generation Z, the
Yeah.
Zoomers. And then
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway.
and it's crazy. Well, I was thinking about it. Well, this question is kind of a two-part, but I was thinking also about how like social media has progressed. Because if you were to think about when social media first came up, like what was the first social media thing that was actually a big thing? Was
MySpace.
It was MySpace, right?
Where was it? What was
Well, I think for us,
LinkedIn.
it
for
would-
us? Yeah,
it
it
would
was-
have
it
been
was
like MySpace.
Yeah. But there
Did-
there
did
was like
Friendster.
so there was like
I
stuff
don't
like
remember
that.
Friendster.
Oh,
I don't remember that.
Moco Space. You remember something like that? Oh, what is it called,
Kick.
dude?
Kick.
No, that's not. That's like later.
No, dude, Kick is terrible.
My Moco Space or something like that.
I don't remember.
I can't
Moco.
remember, dude. Dang it. Hopefully somebody remembers.
I was like, MySpace was like just starting to like phase out into Facebook right when I started becoming like able to be coherent with like.
Did
that kind
you?
of stuff.
But did you have a MySpace account?
Nah, I just
I had a
Facebook.
MySpace. I had a MySpace.
I had one. But
I think I had one for like a day.
I think my email for MySpace was godrocks1017 at yahoo.
I remember.
gmail.com.
I had one, and
I
then
think
my
mine
mom
was Golf
found
for
out.
Miles at gmail.com. Yeah, I'm
Golf
pretty
for
sure.
Miles. Yeah, my mom found out I had a MySpace, and she made me delete it. Because I don't even remember how old I was.
I remember I got Facebook because I wanted to play Farmville.
That was pretty huge, dude.
Yeah.
But so it was MySpace, and then it went to Facebook, and then what was like the next one?
Twitter, I think.
Twitter was pretty
well,
big for a
Twitter was
while.
kind of big alongside
Yeah.
Facebook.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then-
yeah.
Yeah, and then Instagram started kind of becoming a thing after that.
Yeah.
And then Vine, and then
And then
TikTok.
TikTok.
And it was like
That's
Fohoto.
TikTok.
You guys remember Fohoto?
Yeah, when you
Visco?
make like little gifs.
Yeah, that's a.
Disco.
But that's a photo editor.
Yeah, but it's like a social media thing though.
Oh,
So which one would you say is your favorite social media platform, like all time?
I'd
That
say
I guess maybe you could do the most with.
Instagram. I feel like
Yeah,
Instagram
for
is
sure.
the biggest platform.
yeah. Instagram I've used for the longest.
Like for
no,
me,
actually Facebook. but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't really
Like
use
for
it. I
me,
have it, but
yeah,
yeah.
I'm not actively on Facebook.
Yeah, like I'm not actively, but I think Facebook is the most well-rounded out of all of them, in my
I mean,
opinion.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
technically
man.
they're all Facebook now because I think Facebook owns like every social media.
Well, dude, I'm you know what I'm starting to see, dude, is like
Not
Facebook.
TikTok. China owns TikTok.
Hey,
No.
speaking of that, today's Friday. We're airing this on Friday.
They're not
and-
airing it.
or
We're
we're-
recording it.
We're
Recording it on
recording it.
Friday.
We're recording.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But is it actually gonna like?
I have no. I mean, it's
I heard
supposed
tomorrow.
To be
I haven't
I
heard
mean,
it
I
either.
don't
No,
know.
it's 45 days from whenever they said. So they have 45
which
days.
was like a
from
week
that.
ago. Or
Yeah,
something
Yeah.
like
so
that.
we
So they have
time.
45 days to. Microsoft has 45 days to buy it and then put it on servers in the United States before they
Oh.
like ban it completely from the App Store.
That's breaking news with Hunter Schultz.
Yeah,
I just read
I've
something
just
about
been
it
watching a
this
lot of
morning.
CNN.
No, what I've been seeing on Facebook is it was kind of recently they started doing stories.
Mm.
You know, they see what all these other platforms are doing, and they sort of like play off each other.
Well, yeah, Instagram just started Reels, which is essentially
dude.
TikTok.
Yes, exactly, dude.
No, for real.
But it's way worse.
Oh my gosh,
Way
I saw
worse.
this one, dude. I'm gonna show you guys. You guys can't see it on the screen, but this made me throw up in my mouth, dude. I'm not even kidding. This TikTok,
terrible.
or not,
Was
it
it
wasn't
like-
TikTok. The
was
thing
it
is,
like
I think of it as
Monsters?
TikTok.
Was it like
well,
Miles'
because most
energy
of the
drink?
reels on Instagram are
It's
are
basically-
TikToks
yeah.
just put on Instagram.
Look,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't even want to open it. I don't even want to look. But
Oh,
this is the worst thing.
It's like a dance.
It's just a dance
I'll
with
narrate.
guys that you know that they think they're pretty boys.
Yeah.
And they're just dancing. And you know what upsets me, dude? Upsets me that these
Okay.
guys are
People like
making
it.
money.
Yeah.
These guys are making money
They're
just
sponsored,
because
bro,
they think
yeah.
they're pretty
They're
boys. Dude. All you
sponsored
pretty boys
by-
out there,
by
come
Hey,
at me,
hey,
bro.
Hey,
Dude, I'm
hey.
so mad right now, dude. Dang.
No, but I
Okay.
think it comes
Rant
back
over.
to
Comes
the
back to
whole.
whatever makes them happy, right?
Well, no, but it
You-
comes back
you-
to
you
the whole
just said
generation.
10
the,
minutes
the
ago.
first one, Zac Efron.
No, but I think it's like the whole idea of stories and like TikTok. And I think I was like really curious about this the other day. I was like, I wonder why TikTok is as big as it is right now.
Mhm.
And I think it comes back to the whole idea of like our attention span has gotten
Yeah.
so short
Mm.
with like the generation that we're in
They're
that.
doing 7-second videos
I
because that's
know.
all we
Yeah,
have.
well, and like
That's- you only have 7.
Well, you look at like an Insta story. Like most people don't even sit all the way through
That's
an Insta
true,
story.
dude.
You
That's
just
how-
skip it
man.
because it's
Yeah.
like you
because
already
I look
got
at the top and it looks like a bunch of 12-point font periods, dude. I don't want to go sift through all that
yeah,
on
well,
my Instagram.
because you get because
Yeah,
because
I don't
of
like
what
I
though?
don't like that new update.
It's because I don't care.
Well, no, it's because you get the idea of what's happening and then you skip it. So you like watch the story, you're like, I know what's going on, and you're like, okay, now I'm done with this. You know what I mean? But if it's something different though, then you're like, okay, well, what is this? Okay, now I'm like, it's done.
What you're saying is like there's a lot of things that go on in your head that you don't know about that are like processing things that kind of make your decision.
It's attention. Whatever catches your attention. And
that's
for
that
that's
2
what's gonna
seconds,
get
and then
you into
flip
it.
to the next one.
And but that's like the issue of so many
but
things right now. Marketing in general is so hard because it needs to be an instant. Because you can skip an ad after 2 seconds. You can get ad free. Like you have to really grab someone's attention within like the first 5 seconds, or else you're done.
There's that, and then kind of what you were saying is like it's like super quick, but oh shoot, I forgot where I was going with this, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Holy crap, dude! I just completely.
I was gonna say
thought
even
about
like
nothing.
you look at like Super Bowl.
I was following you, and then
you look at like Super Bowl commercials, right? And it's like it used to be all about like I remember like the Budweiser commercial, right?
Yeah.
Like
whoa,
every year the Budweiser used to have this like kind of longer.
That's not one of our sponsors.
No, it's not. But I'm talking about. But they used to have this like 5-minute to like 8-minute commercial, and it was like a longer commercial than normal. But people would always like look forward to it.
Yeah.
But like more recently, all of the commercials have been getting like way shorter, and it's because of like that whole idea.
Doritos.
Oh, okay. I know what I was gonna say now because you kind of reminded me.
Doritos
with
are the
that.
best commercials, by the way.
Was that it's crazy how these social media platforms and just everybody, advertisements in general, is they know how people, like they do studies on this kind of crap. Like they do studies on people and how their brains and how attentive their minds are. So they play to that, and they know, like, it's kind of scary because they know how generally people's mind works, and they play to that, and they try to like sucker you in against yourself. Like they're like brainwashing you basically. It's like they know how your brain works, so they're gonna do that because they know
that's why things like Equals, like the movie like Equals, or the movie like Divergent, all those movies where you have like these factions and people like controlling these, like
that's what it is.
That's why I mean look, it could happen because
5G tech,
because like
1984,
whoever spends the time to research those things and really know it has the control. Knowledge is power, right?
Basically.
And so if you don't know that about yourself, and you don't see behind, the advertisement, or you don't see behind that, I'm getting like all crazy right now. Like,
all you see is the entertainment. You're
person,
like,
but you see the entertainment, you eat it up, and you're a follower.
Yeah.
But knowledge, if you know what's going on and you can at least look a little deeper, then you're
like
the one who holds the chips. Yeah,
they're like dance monkey dance.
Yeah, right.
Dance
exactly.
monkey.
No, and
then I'm not a monkey. I'm not gonna do that.
And I know like not a lot of people like read books a lot anymore, but there was a book that I used to read.
Okay, come on, dude.
There was a book I read.
Captain Underpants.
There was a book I read in high
Percy
school.
Jackson?
Called Fahrenheit 451. I
Oh,
don't know if you guys have ever read it.
I read that.
They
one
made a
because
movie about it on Netflix with Michael B.
Dude,
Jordan.
that's really hot.
But
451.
But basically the whole like gist of the thing is like there's firemen, but they don't fight fires like what they do now. What they do is they actually go and they burn books. So when they find books anywhere, they would go and they would burn these books. And so it's basically that whole idea of like whoever controls the knowledge controls like everybody else's like thought processes.
That's scary,
and stuff.
man.
And so it's that idea of like basically if you can make people not think for themselves, then you totally
then you think
control.
for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like crazy,
which
but
is
it's
actually
like,
though that's how society works.
True.
That's how advertisements win.
Well, no, and you look at like
Which
people
is like makes me sound like I'm like a skeptic of
But-
all people
but
and
in
all
reality-
authority, but I am. But
In reality,
don't get me
though,
wrong.
Are we chameleons, or what did you say,
the
lizards?
lizard people.
Lizard people.
But
Jeez.
I mean, in reality, though, isn't that how a trend starts up again too? Like you
Yeah.
start watching
Yeah.
people that are wearing or endorsing that type of trend, and then a lot of people start following it, and then it starts
Well, that's
becoming.
another
yeah,
thing of
there's peop-
influence. That's a
yeah.
whole nother.
But no,
but
it
that-
ties in a little bit.
Start with
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
But there's also like where people know where things are going, and they
Yeah.
take they're there a step ahead before everybody,
Oh,
because
yeah.
once it
Mhm.
gets there, they're already marketing
Because
like
it makes
whatever
me think,
it is.
like for me personally, I prefer Vine over TikTok, but Vine isn't a thing anymore.
It's been dead for a while.
Yeah,
though.
but I really liked Vine when it came on. I even preferred more, if I really think about it, than TikTok, because I'm like kind of like what you were saying, Sam. Like TikTok, I mean, you just go on there and
Dude,
there's like
it's
this random
just a
stuff.
bunch
Look,
of-
I mean, I don't want to. Like, look, I'm not here to slam social medias.
Which
No,
one?
no, yeah.
Vine or TikTok?
But I think.
Answer it.
Oh my!
Say it. I want to hear your.
I have no answer. But this is the thing. I mean,
oh
I
my
think
gosh.
though the knowledge thing. You know, number one, actually,
Knowledge.
it reminds me. Yeah, what's that guy? He's like in his garage. He's
He's
like, I'm here in the Beverly Hills.
Shoot, no, stop, dude. I know who this is.
What's his
He
name?
was on. Oh, dude.
Okay,
Mario
people,
Teo or something like.
no,
No, it's Manti Teo.
No,
No,
dude.
no.
Stop.
People watching the podcast will know what I'm talking about. It used to be on every YouTube show, like
It's
every
like a
YouTube video.
Face camera,
And
like.
it'd be a guy. He's like, I'm here in my
Dude,
garage in the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, dude, stop, dude.
He's
I
like, with
know
my
it.
Lamborghini. So you know what means more than that? Knowledge. And
Knowledge,
like he
yes,
pans
that
over and
guy,
there's like
dude.
books all behind him.
And he's.
But that guy, he's right. You know.
What is his name, dude? Holy crap!
I can't remember, but
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah,
he was
the
amazing. He went so viral because of that
knowledge, dude.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
And,
It is crazy to think about though, like that whole idea of. I mean, you see, like like even another book that I remember reading was 1984 by
Love that
George
book.
Orwell.
And that's
And
my
it's
favorite
like-
book of all time.
And
Literally-
it's crazy how like even controlling people's like vernacular, like the way that people talk and like what people can say.
But
Every
people
book
can't
that
I
you're
know
saying,
I'm gonna
Hunter.
I'm open up another can.
Okay.
But like that's what I like, right? The controlling people's vernacular, doing the what is it called? Hate or not hate speech?
It was it was hate speech.
No, hate speech is what they call it now. It was. I can't remember what was
What?
called in the
Like
book.
SpongeBob going through the filing cabinets. What is it?
What's the name? What's his name? Where's
No,
the
it was
name?
Oh my goodness.
It's
It's
Ty
like-
Lopez, by the way.
Ty Lopez.
Lopez,
Yeah, that's the
Ty
knowledge
Lopez,
guy.
yeah.
Oh my. I'm gonna Google this right now.
related
1984.
to Mario Lopez.
That's why I think I said
Hate
Mario.
speech. It
Because I
wasn't
think
hate
Mario
speech, it
Lopez
was,
was Ty. Or Ty
what?
Pennington.
Dude, I think every book that you named,
Newspeak.
I
Like
read it in
Newspeak,
English
double
class.
speak, all that kind of stuff. But this is what like with politically correct, language, you're having to say certain things, controlling speech. It's exactly what George Orwell was foreshadowing in this book, which is crazy that we're living in it now. You can't say certain things, and you're regulated and you're demonized and ostracized because of what you say. It's interesting, but I don't want to go too far into that because that's a crazy topic.
Oh, let
Big
me
brother.
let
And
me
it's Adrian's podcast.
let me
right now.
ask. Let me just
Yeah.
ask. Let me just ask this, if I can.
Okay, this is the last thing because I want
Okay.
to go to the last one.
Okay.
Last and final topic.
How far should you allow yourself to think like that?
Like you mean skeptical?
Yes. Is that like to each their own? Like do you sort of
No, I think to an extent it can be damaging because then
you think
you
too
can't-
much?
you think too
It's
much, and overthinking is
a killer, man.
Yeah, you can't just stay in your head and in the theory of everything.
Yeah.
But I think to some extent it's good to question.
Yeah.
I mean, it always is good to question, but then to settle on some things you're just never gonna understand and just move on. Because otherwise you can't live your life. You can't do things if you're just skeptical or hating people or hating authority.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Well, and it just causes a lot of distrust too, because like there might be stuff that you think and you believe about, like let's say for instance talking about government. Like if you're skeptical all the time about every single thing that the government does, then you're never ever going to be able to trust like any government program ever.
Or any authority.
Yeah,
I mean,
or like the
it's-
fact that like there's people that are there to like protect you. There's people that are there to help with like the infrastructure of the city that you live in. You know what I mean? It just becomes you become so like spaced out about everything that your
Yeah.
life, and then it turns to paranoia,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you're
yeah.
just
And
like
then you
consumed
Are
by
on the
this
street in Austin
and you
with,
have
a, with a
tinfoil,
cardboard
yeah,
sign
and you're wearing like an
Screaming
armadillo
that-
shell hat, and yeah,
saying that the president is a lizard.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're on YouTube
That was
and you're
like a
you're
That's
viral.
we should get when Hunter said that last week or something like that.
I think the theory, or the theme of this podcast, everything in moderation, man. You can't go too
That's
far with
true.
You
these
can't
things.
go too
Yeah.
far.
But
It's good to
you
think,
know-
but not too much.
Yeah, right. I mean, can one think too? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Can I ask? No, I'm just kidding.
Can I ask this?
Sorry, Adrian. But one more
Well,
thing,
well, that leads us to our third
We
topic.
didn't even talk about technology in the future.
we didn't
and
talk
the
about
whole
let's hit on that.
teleporting
Let's
a
hit on that.
person?
Let's hit on that.
We didn't even get to that.
Well, we
Alright,
talked
well,
about,
we
but we
gotta
did
answer
talk
it.
about what, like, how
We talked about
technology's
technology,
changed.
then we started talking about everything else surrounding that.
No, it was a two-parter.
Well, let's just answer the question. So basically, his question was, if you
Would
were
they
to bring,
think that
would
they're
they
in the
think that
future?
they were living in the future?
I think so. I think they'd be
I
like,
mean, obviously,
they
right?
wouldn't-
That's
well, I
yeah,
don't think they
obvious,
would-
yes, no.
it'd
I
be
just think-
sensory overload for
Yeah,
sure.
I think exactly what you said, Hunter. Like, I think they would just be so shocked.
Well, you like him or what?
No, I mean, I just like the intellectual stuff he says. Not so much from you, but from Hunter, yes. Because you keep forgetting what you want to say.
But I think this is a good way to look at it. Is what if you were teleported into a Black Mirror episode? You know what I mean? Like that's like the foreseeable future.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Actually,
Like
oh
20 years.
yes,
That's like the foreseeable
Dude,
future
that's a-
is the things that are in Black
that's
Mirror.
a perfect example.
If we were
Yeah.
teleported into that, we would be kind of blown away, but
Yeah.
not totally taken
Because it's
aback,
almost
right. If it were like, let's say someone from 20 years ago was teleported today, but if you're taking someone from 100 years, then that's like that's different.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd think they're living in sci-fi.
Have you heard of that Seth Rogen movie that American Pickle?
Yeah, the one where he plays two people.
He plays two
yeah.
people because his great grandpa or something. I don't remember what time period it started, but he got put in a pickle jar or something like that. He was pickled for like 100,
Pickle
200
Rick.
years, something like that. And so he finally comes out of this pickle jar exactly the same. And then he meets
Oh
his
my
great
gosh.
great grandson, which
yeah.
is also
I've-
Seth Rogen, or something
Only
like that.
I saw the
Seth
trailer.
Rogen
Yeah.
can
Only Seth
Pull it
Rogen.
off.
Only he can pull it off.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen, that guy.
No, but I think that you look at like, I mean, even one of my favorite movies that I've seen recently about like futuristic stuff was Ready Player One. It was
That's
a
a good
Steven
one.
Spielberg
That
movie.
one.
And
Bro,
but dude,
when
the
I
thing
saw
that's
the Iron
crazy.
Giant, it threw me off.
Oh, I know,
man.
me
It
too.
threw me
It's
off.
my childhood, bro. No, but I'm saying
Cried.
that like it's crazy to think that, you know, like, I mean, especially I think like for myself, virtual reality is like here, but it still doesn't feel like it's here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I
it
keep
does.
like not thinking that it's like a real thing.
It has arrived.
Yeah, but it's like you watch Ready Player One and it's like you think about it and you're like, oh
Dude.
my gosh, we're already like on the doorstep
Bro,
of like something
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
soon VR will be
The
It's
only
gonna be
completely submersive.
Yeah.
360 treadmills or whatever that they, you know,
Yeah.
we can walk anywhere and anyhow, like,
Dude,
and feel things like, you know, I think
Dude,
I mean,
but-
it'll get there.
Dude,
Mm.
just this season, man, like that we've been in, it's really just like
here we
threw
go
me
with the
off.
seasons.
No, but it has
Solid.
threw me off, bro. Cause like if you
Talking
like
about
what,
summer or
to your point, Miles, like kindergartners are gonna learn how to be on Zoom and mute themselves.
they
Like
are learning. Yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm
crazy.
saying.
That's
Like,
happening.
but that's school. Like they're
I
doing
know.
it from home. It doesn't even make any sense.
that
bro.
weird?
Like,
or
yeah,
even like how you can pay for an NBA subscription and then
Yes.
you can like wear a VR headset and
Hunter,
sit with your friends.
I like where you took this because that's the third point.
No, but like the like legit, they have a thing where you can like
But
become
like,
you
legit,
bec-
that's
like,
the third point.
oh really? You can make like a friends list on this NBA like subscription.
Are
Yeah.
you
And then-
subscribed or what?
No, I don't have VR.
He's like, heck yeah.
And so, but
Dallas
then you
Mavericks
you
all the
put
way,
on
dude.
your VR headset and you have headphones and everything, and you literally like sit front row with like
Mhm.
your friends,
yeah.
and so you're like watching the NBA game front row with your friends there, but
Yeah.
it's all through virtual reality.
Yeah.
And so it's like crazy to think about that.
There's like a balance. So like that kind of stuff I like because obviously I hate that word seasons, but we're in that right now, and
We're
that's
in
the
this
only
day and
way we
age.
can.
We're in
In
a
this day and age,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's how
that's
I
the way
think
you can
it's-
watch games, and I think that's
Yeah.
so sick because like I
Well,
mean it was taken away from us
Yeah.
sadly, but
Mhm.
this is our way of
Well,
coming back.
let me get into the third topic.
Let me put a little bit of spice to that. Have you seen? Okay, if you haven't seen that meme, it's not funny, but
Yeah, I mean it's not because I didn't understand
let
it.
me
I haven't seen it.
add a little bit of spice to that. Alright, go
Okay.
ahead.
Thank you for that, Miles. Well, I wanted to talk about the new look sports because sports obviously looks very different right now. Kind of like what we were talking about with the virtual VR, you know, sitting with your friends, whatever you're talking about, Hunter. It was all good stuff, but it looks very different, right? And I was actually having a conversation with Sam and shout out to Micah Crump. He's a subscriber,
Micah,
Micah Crump.
shout out.
But we were talking about how next year's draft for every sport
Dude,
is
you're
gonna look.
screaming into the mic.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, just
It's
bring
peeking over there. I
just
can
bring
see it.
just bring my vocal levels down.
For that just one
Yeah, for just that one part. Wait,
Yeah.
okay, so continue.
But we were talking about how the draft is gonna look for next year. So I was actually watching this. It wasn't a documentary. It was an interview with Joe Burrow, the #1 pick, went to the Bengals, and he was talking about how if he was drafted this coming year, he doesn't even think he'd have a job because if you think about it, the only standout season that he had was his senior year, which he went to LSU. But it's looking like this year that they're not gonna.
Do any NCAA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're not gonna really have a season. So like, just imagine that. Like, if he had been a year later, like he might not even have a job right now. He might be looking
Mhm.
for a job,
Yeah.
and that's just crazy to think about. Because
mean-
that this like Sam said, this season, it's gonna affect a lot of
I didn't
different.
say
This
that.
day and
You
age.
said that.
Hey, but you
I'm
brought
a
it
day
up.
and age guy.
This
You're a
season-
seasons guy,
All right.
right?
Well, in
Let's
this
leave it
day
like
and
that.
age and this season, whichever way you prefer,
Season schmeasons, dude.
it's gonna change for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about just the NFL. I mean, a lot of people are not gonna have a high school season. They're not gonna have a college season. So what?
Well, I mean, you can even take this further than that. I mean, in sports, yes, like that's affecting all of the sports world in high school, in NCAA, in the pros, whatever. But even job, colleges, any kind of industry you're gonna look at, it's gonna affect all of it. This coronavirus and in general, coronavirus. Shout out Cardi B, one of our no, I was kidding.
Cardi, she subs to the channel.
No, but I was talking with somebody about Corona, and
You want to give them a shout out?
You want to mention them?
No, I
Okay.
mean, I'm gonna keep this between me and this person. No, no, we were talking about Corona and what it's doing, and basically we came to the conclusion that this is the 9/11 of our generation.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were all born late 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and as we know, early 2000s is when 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of didn't necessarily feel or see the repercussions of it. Yes, we grew up with TSA, so like that's the thing. Like we didn't see it before TSA was a thing.
We just grew up with it,
and it was a product,
yeah.
that came after 9/11. But this is the thing for us is like this is like our generation
Yeah.
defining, if you will, like moment or experience that we've lived through wars, but then this is like
The
this is
world
gonna
stopping
change.
like a.
Yeah, the world has stopped, and there's going to be things that are coming out of this that are
Mhm.
changing the way we live forever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think, and then industries like what you're talking about, more of the immediate future, the next year, 2 years, sports, job industries, whatever.
Dude, yeah.
They're all affected heavily by this. Interviews, opportunities,
Yeah.
people's plans. It's crazy.
Yeah, people are having to like change like so many people grow up wanting to be like a professional athlete, but like if their season's taken away, it's like, well, what do you do about that? There's no scouts going out to go see you.
Yeah.
It's just weird to think about. Like, I wonder what's gonna happen, and
Yeah.
especially in sports. Like, I wonder if they're just gonna do like a gap, like a I don't know.
Well, I mean, and even like what you were talking about, Miles, with like colleges and stuff like that. I remember seeing something that they were talking about how this year's graduates from college were supposed to graduate into the like the most prosperous job market that was ever in the last 50 years, like since for like people to go into working.
Yeah.
And then coronavirus hit, and now everything has been like flipped up on
the
its head.
exact opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's crazy to think that you can like like Adrian was saying, you can either study or you can like work so hard to become this professional athlete. But like like Joe Burrow was saying, it's like if you miss your one shot, it's over. You know what I mean? It's like it's just crazy to think.
Yeah,
about.
I see
You only
that.
get one shot. Do not miss a chance to get this.
10% luck. 20%.
No. I was saying Eminem, bro.
Yeah. Wrong one.
Wait.
That is Eminem.
Yeah.
No.
No,
What I
that's
just
not-
That was
saying
Saying
lose
was
yourself. If you only had one shot,
Who is
one
that?
opportunity.
done. Fort
Would you
Minor.
capture
Fort
Minor,
Minor.
Fort Minor. Yeah,
Shout
that's
out
it.
to Fort Minor.
No.
Also was sub to the channel.
Yeah, they're
No, but I think there's a silver lining in that, because it sounds like what I'm about to say is supposed to be seen as a bad thing, but I think that because the whole world has gone through this, because everybody's going through this, yes, it does hurt. No, it only hurts in the sense that things aren't going to be done the way they were before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, for example, how you said about the scouts. Like, they're not going to be able to actually go and see the actual athlete play and then make their obvious observations. But you're still going to be able to do that, but just differently. So, yes, it does hurt, but not the good thing, but the thing is that everybody's going through this. So everybody is going to figure out a solution to each and every whatever job or
Right, all the industries that is
everything.
affected.
Yeah,
I agree. There's a silver lining in it, I think, as well, that our generation, or the people who are just kind of coming into adult life and thinking for themselves out of this are going to reevaluate what's important. And the idea of grind to become this person in this industry and this thing, I think some of that is going to shift a little bit and change to where it's not all about that. It's not all about the industry you're a part of or the title that is matched with your name. I think it's going to shift into something that's more about the moment, the present, about the people who are around you, about your loved ones. And I think values are shifting in a good direction, because this is forcing people to reevaluate those things when you're stripped of your title, when you're stripped of your job, and what you've quote unquote worked for your whole life. What are you left with?
Exactly.
And then what do you do? And I think people are evaluating.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's
100%.
a hard thing to get through
Mhm.
and to figure out, but in the end, I think people are gonna come out better than,
Yeah,
I
than
think
what they were.
what we're starting to realize, or what we're getting the opportunity to do, is sort of what you're saying, is essentially start from scratch.
Right.
And not in the sense that everything has been taken away from you, but just how we're saying things have come to a stop as we know it. Like the way life has worked has come to a halt. But that allows every one of us to, as you said, reevaluate and say, like, we're with the whole shelter at home and the quarantine stuff and all that, we're able to be at home maybe with your family. And that means that you understand that family is that much more important to you because that's who you have 24/7 if you're staying at home the whole time.
Yeah.
But you start to see these things that you never really put attention to beforehand because you either A, didn't have the time, or B, just didn't think about it.
Mhm.
But it's allowing us to have that time to think about the things that actually are important or that should be important to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if things are moving too quickly, you
Yeah.
don't have time or the energy to stop and reflect.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
if you're working 9 to 5, you come home to your family,
You're
you come home
yeah.
to whatever you got to do. You know, most people don't even work 9 to 5.
Yeah,
most people
yeah.
can sometimes work 9 to 9
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you need the time to reflect and go, okay, personally, like almost back to the beginning. You know, personally, how's my emotional health and my physical health? People, I
Mhm.
think, started with that. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
quarantine. You saw all these quarantine workworkouts, quarantine diets,
Yeah.
or you
Yeah.
saw the opposite, quarantine 15, where you like gain,
Oh, the 50.
gain weight.
What spectrum were you on?
Well, we won't talk about that here on the podcast.
Okay.
We just talked about self-esteem earlier. Is that what is that? What do you want to try to get out of him?
No, I said Miles is happy.
No,
Depending on what
listen.
side, whatever side of the spectrum he's on.
But I think it started with that self evaluation
Mm.
and looking back, and now it's kind of getting broader, and people are
Yeah.
reevaluating structures,
Mhm.
systems,
Yeah.
governments, patterns, all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's kind of zooming out slowly, which is I think
Panning.
gonna be end up good. And we're only
Yeah.
what 6 months into this.
Yeah.
This
Feels like it's
pandemic
been
feels
forever.
forever.
Right.
It feel,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels
5
way
years.
Yeah.
longer. But think about 6 months from now. What is it going to look like, and what's going to be changed?
What's
already?
gonna change? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like even talking about like the repercussions of what this is gonna have on like the future.
Yeah.
It already is.
It's well, no, but it's crazy to think about like, like I was reading an article the other day where it was talking about how we've put all of our efforts into making masks and making regulators and like what is it? Not regulators,
Respirators.
ventilators. Yeah,
Ventilators, yeah.
for people to be able to breathe instead. Regulators just for scuba divers. But like for
Still
people to be able
works.
to breathe that have coronavirus, and so it's like it's crazy to think that once this is all over, we're literally going to have like warehouses full of this equipment
Mm.
Yeah.
because there's going to be so many left over.
Yeah.
Or like you think about all the places that have been like, converted into hospitals, and it's
Yeah.
like going back from that.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy to think that, there's going to be, people that are going to have to take care of those things.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
it's really crazy to
Yeah.
think about like, like you were saying with the silver lining, it's like we're like losing one aspect, but we're gaining another aspect. And I do
Yeah.
think that because I've heard some people be negative about this whole season,
Yeah.
like you were saying,
Excuse
Adrian,
me?
this day and age.
This day and age.
But no, but it's like I've heard
Season
people
is
be
just fine.
I've heard people be negative about it and be like, well, after this, people aren't going to want to give hugs and handshakes and stuff. But I think it's the exact opposite. I think people have been craving that stuff so much
that
Yeah.
they're gonna.
that whenever this season's over and like we said it
Excuse
again,
me?
season, but whenever all this is over and we found like we've finally gotten past it,
yeah.
that it's like people are going to want that. They're going to want
Yeah.
to be like around each other
Yeah.
and like, and I think that, I don't know, I kind
And
of
I-
see a little
social
more
distance,
hope
of
for
course.
it's
humanity.
giving people a new purpose to like actually love what they get to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's same thing. I was like the whole reason I brought it up with sports is because like I just think about sports is one aspect of how this has changed. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff, but and I don't think it'd be my week if I didn't talk about sports because
Well,
that's
yeah.
just I just love sports. It's
Yeah.
just
It
me.
ended at high school, and you're still going with it.
I mean, it's shit.
If you guys don't know, Adrian could have gone pro, like
Yeah,
MLB.
Apparently,
But he hurt his knee.
No,
Or
no,
MLB,
MLB.
NBA, NFL.
I hurt my
Apparently,
knee.
he could have done
He,
everything.
Tell him
NHL.
about the finger, Miles. Tell him about the finger.
I'm going to talk about the finger right now. So Adrian was an all-star,
Slam dunking every
amazing
other
t-ball
shot.
player, and then one day his
Good.
finger got slammed into a door, and
It
it
got
chipped it off.
They shortened it
You know?
about
No,
like
but
what?
you
About
half an
half an
inch?
inch. Half
You
an inch
kinda-
is gone from his finger. And
It was
so
on my throwing
I'm
finger.
summarizing. Okay, it was throwing finger, and this is t-ball. so he wasn't throwing any.
There's no
He was a
professional
pitcher for
T-ball.
T-ball.
It wasn't
And,
T-ball.
so yeah, he was
T-ball.
He's a pitcher for
as you can
T-ball.
imagine, very, very close to MLB status, and got injured, and sadly now he's a commentator and enthusiast now.
I heard Mike
Sports
Trout
enthusiast.
attached to his name at that time.
Yeah,
I
it
heard
used to be-
Skip Bayless.
it used to
is,
be
asking
Skip
him to
Bayless.
get on the show.
It should be Adrian Bayless.
Adrian Trout.
Adrian Trout, and now it's Adrian Bayless. I'm
No,
sorry.
but to go back to that whole thing, I think it's not only sports, but it's so many things, man. It's
Yeah.
affected so many parts of our lives, and I think it's easy to look at this as a bad thing. It's easy to look at this as, well, we lost everything and life has stopped. No, it hasn't stopped. Life's just going to keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
It's up to you to
make
you
the
know,
best
to
out
make
of
the
it.
best out of the time, and,
Yeah.
and you can't let it pass you by because you're sulking about the
As
fact
a
that,
world
hey, look,
outside.
also I want to say that this is also real too. Coronavirus is real. The virus is real. People are dying, and I hate to hear that. It sucks that people are passing because of this, and
Yep.
it sucks that this happened to begin with. But
But-
and I just feel there shouldn't be any negative outlooks on this. I think if we can continue to look at the positives about this and just continue to move forward and take it. Look, the best, I feel like, this is me personally, whenever I have a family member pass away, I think what I've come to understand is the best way for me to respect that person is to continue to live my life to the fullest.
It's true.
And to continue to
it's really
move
good.
forward regardless of what happens or how they pass,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to respect them in the sense that they would have wanted me to continue to, and I want to continue my life for them as well because, I want to remember them and I want to,
Yeah, for sure.
that sort of thing. And I took it there again, but
It's okay. It's
Hey,
okay.
bro,
No,
that's-
and I feel like
I'm having issues.
I feel like during like the time that we're in right now, especially if you choose to not look at the positive and you look at the negative, that you can actually lose yourself to what's going on.
Yeah.
And like, 'cause I know
100%,
people
yeah.
that they turn the news on in the morning and they leave it on all day,
Yeah.
and it's
That's all they
so
hear,
depressing
yeah.
because it's like you're literally just feeding yourself.
Dude,
full on
that's
negative.
my Filipino grandma. She watches Fox News 24/7.
But it's
Ooh.
and it's like so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's like that's the thing is like like.
Wolf Blitzer.
well, situation room.
But like you can lose yourself to what's happening, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
if and it's like even that there was like a video that came out a couple months ago of like in Italy where it was like so bad and there was all these
Oh,
deaths and stuff,
yes.
but people were on their porches
Mhm.
and like they were like people playing violins
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
trumpets and pianos, and like that was the like the humanity like showing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like that hope. You know what I mean? And like they weren't
Yeah.
losing themselves to what was going on in their own country, like
Mhm.
not that far away from them, but rather they were choosing to like make the best of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like really cool how they were looking forward rather than looking at what they were stuck in at the moment.
That's where Gal Gadot's thing came from, right? Imagine all the people.
Yeah.
All these actors and actresses coming out and supporting John Lennon, right?
Yeah.
That was
John
ridiculous,
Lemon.
man. John Lemon.
John
I was gonna say something, dude.
But
this
I think
keeps happening
that's
to
what
me.
we're all about on the Average People podcast.
Yeah.
Is reevaluating average.
What
Average
do you-
isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
It's true.
Average can be anything. And,
Yes.
it means taking average and making it, what it is. I don't know where I was going with this.
There's
It's
nothing.
supposed to be
There's
motivational.
nothing wrong with being average.
Yeah.
There's no need for you. Look, this dude. Honestly, this is a
There's
well.
no need for
This
you.
is a well-rounded discussion. It makes my first podcast look like crap. Like I had the
Hey,
first one, and
I-
dude, I listened to it. It's so bad.
Sam, I'm
man.
gonna encourage the
No,
heck
but-
out of you right now.
But no,
There's gonna be
I
some
love
love
you guys.
Adrian's
I
like,
love
I'm
you guys.
experienced.
I,
All right, if you're watching, just turn off now.
no.
I wouldn't be able to lead this one if it wasn't for you.
No, look, I was gonna
inspired
say,
me.
I was gonna say that too. Actually, not that specifically trying to kiss up to Sam because he owns the podcast.
It's not kissing up.
Own it.
No,
Honesty.
yeah.
I
with
could have never seen myself do this without Sam. So
well, there you go.
that's because of Sam.
The
Well,
world-
anyway, I was gonna say. No, I mean this this whole podcast would have never been birthed if we didn't have this
Come together.
situation in our world.
It's
and in
true.
our life. And
Thank you, Sam.
I'm a big supporter of there's no regrets in life. Everything that's happened in your life is it just gets you to where you're at now.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, Sam.
And it's up to you to make yourself make what it is.
Yeah.
make
Make average out of below average.
Make
Something
every
from
bit of a
nothing.
sucky situation.
Yeah.
But I think that was like our whole vision to begin with. Is like average is there's nothing wrong with being a
Right.
normal person. You know,
Yeah,
it's easy to see
Well,
yourself as a
98% of the population is a normal person.
I mean,
you
all
know what
four
I
of
mean?
us.
Like,
All four of us.
What does
are
that mean?
average.
98% of the population.
I don't know. Like,
Well,
like not
Where'd you
everybody's a
pull that number
celebrity.
from? dude?
Like, not
Where'd-
everybody's a
you're
celebrity.
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, I
Oh
see
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're
Not
saying.
everybody's
Where-
an athlete. Like,
Where'd you get those statistics from?
well, I'm okay. All right.
No, but I get
we-
you. No,
laptop.
100%.
We value intellectual
Discussion.
factualization.
Yeah.
But also, I guess another thing to that is that we aren't like the smartest people in the world. you
We're
know,
really
like, we're
not.
not.
I mean,
We're
you can
just
probably
at
hear it
all.
in our.
yeah.
in our
We're just
podcast
people that
vernacular.
like to have good conversations because
Yeah.
that's what we feel people need to have.
Yeah.
It's just conversations, and that is what helps
Yeah.
us
Conversations
grow.
about life,
Different
sports,
things, sports, girls
Yeah.
sometimes
What's
that we
going
don't
on.
have.
whatever whatever we want to talk
I
about.
have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Oh, Hunter. Dang it, dude. I keep
Every
forgetting
time
that.
we have this discussion.
Not that I forget
Hunter
that
is in a committed relationship.
he's a commit. I applaud you, Hunter.
And it's flourishing.
Yeah.
Right?
You
Yeah.
you
Look,
two are
last
great
time I checked,
together.
last time I checked, it was flourishing.
Yeah. Well, and it's, dude, honestly, that's another thing with the whole season, though, is that being in a long distance
Day and age.
relationship.
Okay, but that's next week, all right? So
That's my podcast.
Yeah, Hunter's up next
your
week,
podcast.
man.
I am up next week.
But
Dude.
we're not gonna be able to relate, so probably not
true.
now.
I think I'm
We're
gonna try
just
to
about
get a
Go
girlfriend.
into something deep, and we're just shutting it down.
Everybody's all laughing at me.
Hunter's like, I'm really struggling.
No,
with
I was
this
just
one."
gonna say though. I was just gonna say it's taken everything to like a whole new level, and it just comes back to like how our world is coming back to a place of like you have to be intentional during this season,
Yep.
Yeah.
or else you're not gonna get anywhere. You
Mhm.
can literally just sit at home and do nothing all day.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Well, to end this off, I thought it would only be fitting if we ended off with a few shout-outs.
Yes, I think this would be a cool thing
I
that we
think-
do.
So let's go ahead.
we can do. No, I think we can do this like pretty every week. I think it's cool to shout
Yeah,
people out.
just-
That's what makes it personal.
I like it.
Because
That's what
we've
makes
all
us-
been talking to people in our own world, subscribers,
Yes.
and we just think. Yeah,
So
it's
the
fitting.
actually what had happened was that I told Adrian that a couple of our friends from Australia wanted us to shout them out,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, I can't." I'm just surprised that they listened to this podcast, and they sent
Exactly.
me like a video of it. I was like, it brought me to
Really,
tears.
that's
bro.
really cool. Yeah.
brought me to tears. But yeah,
Game recognizing game.
game recognized game. But Adrian, do you wanna do some personal shout outs?
Yeah, so
let's start with you,
I want
bruh.
to start off with a guy who shares my name, Adrian Caesar. He just had a baby, him and Naomi.
Yes.
They're our ex RDG leaders. If
yes.
you don't know what those are.
That's in Australia. It's a youth thing.
Yeah.
They will get who we're talking about. But Adrian, Naomi, we love you.
Yeah.
We miss you. We're proud of you.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
mean-
you're proud of us.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I miss you guys, and it's. I know I haven't talked to you guys in a while, but I'm sincerely from the bottom of my heart happy that you guys had a successful pregnancy, and yeah, I think it's a baby
Leo.
boy,
I think it's Leo.
Leo,
Baby Leo.
baby Leo.
I'm wiping my eyes right now.
Yeah, that's really cool, honestly.
They were some extremely cool people to us. They were like family to us over there in
Yeah.
Australia.
My best. I'm just gonna share.
They
this
weren't
one
like
last
they
story.
were family.
My best memory is when they bought like this massive turkey for us. It was a
Oh
turkey.
yeah. Remember when we were at the house and we made?
Yeah.
We had never
yeah,
made.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know how we agreed to
Dude,
this, but we
So
I do
said
remember.
yes
So
to
Sam,
making
look,
a
let me
turkey.
just share this, bro. Like, so I'm not up at that point. I was not a great cooker.
Up
Like,
until
I could not
up
cook.
until that point, right now,
Okay, shh.
Adrian,
No, I'm better now. At
to
this
the
point.
present.
No, that's not true. That is not true. Guys, just listen to me. Hear me out.
Okay, it's your podcast. I
Yeah,
forgot.
I know. I hate how I'm just keep getting interrupted on my own podcast. Like, but I could not cook to save my life. There was a point where I
Can't.
almost food poisoned Sam. I said
Yeah,
it on
twice.
on air.
Twice you cooked me
I-
raw meat.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Well, you
This-
just did so.
Hey, that's the past.
It's
This
the
is the
second
future.
time we've talked about that on the podcast.
Is it?
I think we talked about raw meat the first one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Anyway, keep going.
well, they bought us a turkey, right? And
Yeah.
they entrusted us to cook it.
I don't
know
remember
why.
how we agreed to it. To be honest, I don't
Yeah.
remember how it came.
Well, they just bought us all the supplies, and no one else could do it except us because we were at home. So we ended up doing it, and it was actually really.
it came
good.
out so freaking good.
It was
dude.
like
I don't
that
even
wa-
remember
I'm
how
still
we
proud
did
of
it.
that to this day.
I think I
And-
have pictures of us like we're in front of
Yeah.
the turkey. We're like this.
It was
Yeah.
stuffed. It was
We
crazy.
stuffed a bunch of random stuff in
Yeah,
it, dude.
we put like a sock in there. Like,
Oh no!
like
I couldn't find my toothpaste. I don't remember where that went.
toothpaste in there, some
Those
lime,
minty flavor.
I'll tell you what, that turkey had white teeth, bro.
yeah, white tea. Yeah, man, it It was amazing. That's all I gotta say. About
Who else you want to shout, man? Let's get some shouts.
Yeah. Who else do I want to shout out?
You know, I want to shout out
Okay, Myles.
Dustin Keener.
Dustin Keener.
You know,
Oh,
we
and
shouted him
Andrew.
out last week, I believe.
DK.
Oh yeah, and Andrew Acuna. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Andrew.
two fantastic guys who are
Great
listeners
dudes.
of the podcast.
And-
You know, they're great guys, and but specifically Dustin Keener because he said that he only listened to half of the podcast, the last one. So I'm shouting him out right now because I have faith that he listened to the whole thing.
That he'll make it. That'll make it.
That
to
he
the
made
end.
it to right now.
Yeah. I hope he
Love you,
did.
Dustin.
I hope he did.
If you're not listening to this, I don't love Dustin Keener after this moment.
Okay.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna do more?
Oh, and
shouts?
shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
fair
wait.
enough.
Oh, wait.
Fair
I
enough,
got a
fair
shout out, and this one's for Sam. I got a shout out for Devin Booker, bro. That guy is
Oh.
a straight up goat. I don't even care
You're
if he
picking
didn't
on
make
his scabs right now.
it. No, look,
He's
it's not a scab. It's a dry wound. He put a Band-Aid over it already. But
yeah.
if
Yeah.
like, okay, so I'm just gonna say it. The Suns didn't make it to the playoffs, but
Yep, yeah.
but to be fair, they are fully deserving to make it to the
It's
playoffs
true.
this year.
100%.
And
I
not-
agree. I agree.
And even though they might have got swept by the Lakers, they probably could have won one game. I have faith, but they probably would have won one game. Let's just be
I
real.
don't want to get so deep into this conversation
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
know we've talked a lot about this.
Yes.
But I want to quickly say, if they had a good season going into the bubble, they would have been in the playoffs. But they just turned it on a little too late.
Jesus.
But I
dude.
knew that he
Jeez,
was gonna
man.
get pissed about
No,
me
no,
saying
I'm not
that,
gonna
but
get-
I have to say because it's my opinion.
Okay,
They should have played
fair
that
enough,
way
fair
before the bubble.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But let me just say one thing about the Suns, okay? I reposted a video about Monty Williams and
I saw it.
about his the coach. I actually got emotional, dude. Last night it was actually pretty emotional for me because the Suns had a chance at making the playoffs for the first time since 2010, I think.
Yeah.
2010. No,
Barkley
it was
days.
really far back. No, it's not Barkley.
Barkley days? Are you kidding
But
me?
but you know, you guys probably think I'm stupid saying this, but this actually
Gosh.
taught me a life lesson: is that you give it your 100% and you control the things that you can control, and you let God take the rest.
It's true.
Like I mean, I don't know if they're all religious, if they're all Christian or anything like that, but I just think that, you know, I loved watching every single game because it was so sick. Like they
Yeah.
won, you know, and it's like getting me so hyped and so
Mm.
psyched. And then they didn't make the playoffs, but I was like, dude, they went 8-0. They did
Yeah.
everything literally that
I mean,
they
that's
could.
the epitome of making something out of nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like
I mean, but if you think about it too, like it's a win, bro. They finished off their season strong, and it's only gonna translate into
Yeah,
next year.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because
for
they're
sure.
now, I think they're on fire, bro. Like
Yeah,
they're
just
hot. Like
Monty Williams, I love that guy.
they're hot like the sun.
Great coach,
yeah,
Devin
if you will.
Booker. I love my Suns, but I want to shout out Aaron Caddy. Aaron Caddy, who's the one that told us about shouting him out. Hannah Olenek, definitely Adrian, Naomi, Andrew Bishop,
yeah.
Jaden, a bunch of those guys, man. A lot of our youth fam over there. I hope you're
Some great
listening. We
people.
love you all. Blue Tribe, BTC for life. It's
Yep.
probably a bunch of different things now, but
Who knows what it is now, man?
I have BTC tattooed on my right cheek. I'm not talking about my face.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. No, I never got that.
We're gonna have
But
to get that cut out.
no, who else? A lot of people have actually given us good feedback about this, and
Yeah.
I'm completely surprised.
Oh, shout out to Geneva and her husband. She was saying how they love the podcast.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
sweet,
yes.
dude.
You know,
Yeah.
shout out to
Um,
them if you're listening.
We've had
Wait,
we've
you're
had
talking about Eder.
he plays
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He plays
He's a,
basketball.
he's a god on the
He's a
court.
baller.
They call him
baller.
Young Moses on the court.
Well, the
He
guy's
looks
got a
like-
beard like Moses.
Yeah, he looks like Moses from Prince of Egypt. That's like we did a side by side. We did a side by side.
Jeez,
I'm
dude.
not even exaggerating.
No, but they're faithful listeners of the podcast. And
We appreciate it.
I
We
had
love
great
it.
feedback.
Eder,
the
you're a
other day
great
from
guy,
them.
bro. You're a great guy.
We've had a long week, very long week.
Mhm.
As many people may not know, maybe they don't know, we work at a church. We do a lot of ministry stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to our team, dude, our youth team.
Yeah, dude.
No, specifically the people that have come in to help us out, like Daniel DeLeon. I know he
Isaiah-
listens to this. So
The Three
he's-
Big Nights team.
Isaiah
Three Big
Carrera.
Nights team. Isaiah Carrera, Ana
Benavides,
Benavides, Bella
Bella.
Macias. You guys are freaking sick.
Bro,
love
just
you all.
Awesome
Who else?
people.
Do you have to do like the parents thing? Is it like an obligation or? I'm
It's
just
like
kidding,
I
I
feel
love
like
my
it's like a
parents.
graduation. Like
Do it. Hey, wait.
Thank
wait.
you
I
to
wanna take some
all.
time. Hunter, can you do it, please?
Do what?
Oh, Hunter's
Hunter's like a
famous
master
trumpet.
trumpet player with his
sound.
mouth.
What you're about to hear is not a trumpet. What you're about to hear is Hunter's mouth.
here we
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Do the Star Wars one. Do the Star Wars.
Do one better. Do a better one.
I'm just gonna edit that out.
I have. That's gonna sound terrible.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
on the
gonna
can you
microphone
do,
and
can you do
everything, but-
London Bridges?
What? Yeah, the freaking the alarms.
Dude, you get me every time with that. You get me every time, Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, and also, just wanted to mention really quick. Last podcast we talked about a giveaway.
Yeah.
And
And we'll finish off with that. Hunter, take us all the way out.
yeah.
Wait,
So basically,
Dang it.
what we want to do is we want to give away a pack of 4 monsters to one of our viewers, one of our subscribers, and we're gonna create our own little 4-pack. So each of us are gonna pick our favorite flavor of monster.
Yep.
We'll throw it in a 4-pack, and we're gonna call it the Average People Pack.
Let's go.
And
like that.
we'll post a thing on our Instagram with all the instructions on how you guys can enter the giveaway for that. But we're hoping to have that set up so that way you guys can have those before the next episode, and that way you can crack open a cold one with us.
Oh, dude,
Yep.
that'd be so sick. Some logistical information. I will be putting timestamps from now on. I
Nice.
forgot to do that,
Sick.
but starting this episode, we will have timestamps, so
Nice.
it allows you to jump wherever you want. But obviously, we prefer that you listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
It's worth it.
we will have timestamps. All of our music, original music, will be put on SoundCloud, which we already have an
yeah.
account.
Yep.
Did you see? Oh,
Yeah. I did see. What do you? Did I see? Of course.
Of course, we're on
Wow.
the account. But all of
Even
our
Juno watched.
original intro, outro music in its full will be on SoundCloud. We are still looking into getting our podcasts on different platforms.
Yep.
Yep.
That will be up hopefully soon. But for now, we have YouTube, and we will also be a little more active on our Instagram.
Mhm.
Hopefully, what else? I need to clean up.
I think that's pretty much it.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean
think
that's.
it,
Yeah. You don't have any shout outs, Hunter?
No.
I mean, I feel like we
Alright.
did 10 minutes of shout outs, which is
Alright.
cool, you know, like gotta bring
Cool.
back the love to the people.
Dude,
Yeah.
I,
Alright. It's
the only
love
reason why we do
everyone.
it, you know?
Literally, anybody that's listening to this, especially at this point of the podcast,
Honestly,
I
like
love you.
that's the only reason why we
Like,
do it. You
yeah.
know?
like I legitimately want to be your friend.
You're
I
loyal.
don't have many of them, and
Or you
free
just
to
let it
DM
run. You
Feel
just
free,
let it go.
you know. I want to say this last, feel free to DM the podcast
yes,
on Instagram, and throw us some topics if you want us
Oh,
to talk
heck
about
yeah.
something.
Or
Dude,
just
that would
ask
be
if you
awesome.
can be on the podcast. Like we
Or
said,
that
this
too,
is
Okay,
man.
hold on,
Average
don't get too
people.
far ahead of yourself. No,
Yeah.
But
Look,
for
we
real.
still haven't even finished the weeks, Hunter. Stop.
feel free. Feel
We're finishing
free
next week.
to DM us if you want,
Specific.
topics to be talked about.
Yeah.
We are super flexible, and honestly,
maybe not physically, but
Well, we're not
Well,
super flexible, but we'll figure out some time.
we want to talk about the things you want to hear. So
Yes.
Yeah.
throw us a DM,
We
YouTube
are-
comment, whatever you
we're one with the
prefer.
people.
And with that, everyone, that concludes this.
I don't think that's how you end a podcast.
You know,
so
no,
I think
he's
you
like,
have to
"And
do the
now
stay
we
average."
finish.
And
Yeah,
with-
I was about
to
to
say
say
like with all that being said.
With all that being said, coach me. Coach me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
Alright.
you're just
I
gonna
don't know what else can you say. I mean, have we said everything?
I don't know.
I think
the
that's
thing.
it. I
Did you
think
know
we talked
basically
about
every
I'm still-
podcast
I'm
I
still looking.
listen to, their ending is just like this. Like they never know how to end it, but that's what's
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
because
you know,
that's, like,
yeah,
the thing about
we've
podcasts.
talked through so much.
Yeah,
We've gone through life.
some deeper
You know,
stuff.
we've
right?
talked about health.
Zac
We've talked about
Efron,
technology. Talked about Zach. We've talked
Zachy.
about Tesla. We've talked about
technology.
1984.
1984.
We've talked about
George
Captain
Orwell.
America.
Captain Underpants too got a little.
Yeah, Captain Underpants reading knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez.
Gotta
Shout
love
out to
time.
our sponsor, Knowledge. And with
Our
that,
other sponsor, DIY.
Yeah.
Our other sponsor, DIY Knots, on YouTube.
And
Alright.
with that, all together,
Stay average.